Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started today. We're going to be working on moon salutations, but before we get into moon salutations, it's really work with the hips, mobility between the hips, but it's also a nice relaxing flow to get the body into cool down mode. We're going to go ahead and do some warm-ups with the hips, introducing parts of our moon salutation piece by piece prior to doing the whole flow together so we can get our body ready for that movement. Making our way to a resting seated position, we're allowing those shoulders to come away from the ears and the hands to rest gently on the knees. Now that can be face down if we're looking for something within the self today, or that can be face up as a sign of receiving from the energy around us, the energy in this space. Altogether allowing the eyes to shut softly. Take a big deep breath in. Nice full exhale. All together, taking our time to get acclimated with our breathing. Inhale through the nostrils for a count of 4. Followed by an open mouth exhale for a count of 5 or 6. Slowing down the breathing. And repeating this cycle in through the nose for 4, out through the mouth for 5 or 6, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Perhaps noticing the cyclical nature of our breath here. The way we take in what we need, release what no longer serves us, and repeating this again and again. Just breathing. I encourage us to let go of any thoughts or emotions, things to do that exist outside of this space, so we can be fully present for our bodies today, fully present on the mat in this practice, with our sole focus on the breathing, on each and every movement and transition, how the body feels. Isolating our thoughts to be right here on the breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Notice the lungs fill up with air as we exhale, the chest softens. All together on our next exhalation, we're just gently allowing the chin to bow. As we inhale, we're making really small circles with the head here. Nice and controlled movements, leading with the chin. Again, not straining the neck in any way. Warming up the cervical spine. Our next inhalation, perhaps we're switching sides. Nice small circles with the head. And then our next inhalation, allowing ourselves to make these circles just a bit bigger. Not straining the neck in any way, but really getting that full range of motion. If that feels uncomfortable at all, go ahead and remain with our small circles. Switching sides. And all together, as we inhale, we're rolling those shoulders down the back as we guide the gaze up to meet each other. Beautiful. Reach both arms up to the ceiling, stretching even through the fingertips. Perhaps we lift the chin. And as we exhale, leaning with the chest, we turn to the right side. Allow those arms to come out and down to our sides in a twist. The gaze is following that back hand, but if that feels uncomfortable, feel free to just gently look to the right side. And as we inhale, coming right back to center, exhale, turn the chest to the left, and then allow those arms to come down and out to our sides in a twist. Gaze is following that back hand, resting gently at the side. And inhale, come right back to center. As we exhale, allowing those arms to come out and down with complete control. Inhale, right back up. Perhaps the gaze follows with the lift. Exhale, out and down with complete control. Inhale high, reach through the fingertips. Exhale out and down to our sides, following the breath. Inhale high. And as we exhale, only the right hand meets the floor beside us. As we extend through the left side, the pelvis is rooted onto the mat. The gaze can be down towards the bottom hand or up towards the top, whatever feels good. And as we exhale, we're lowering the chest down, sweeping the floor in front of us with our hands. Inhale, lift through the opposite side. Pelvis is rooted onto the mat. Left palm is in the floor. Shifting the gaze as we need to. And as we exhale, lower the chest down, sweep the floor in front of us with our hands. Inhale through the opposite side. And exhale, lower chest, bring those arms all the way around. Two more times. Exhale, bring it down and around. Lift through the opposite arm. And next exhalation, down all the way around. Lifting through the right side. And as we inhale, coming back to center all together, reach through those fingertips. Exhale, allow those arms to come out and down with complete control. Two more times. Inhale high. Allow those lungs to fill up, and as we exhale, the lungs compress, arms come out and down to our sides. One more time. Inhale high. Perhaps the gaze follows. Exhale out and down with complete control. Beautiful. Making our way onto our hands and knees. Checking our alignment when we get there. The wrists are underneath the shoulder blade, and those knees are hip width apart, tucking those toes behind the thighs as much as they can be. All together, coming into cat-cow pose. As we inhale, drop the belly button down to the mat. Lift the crown of the head and the tailbone for cow. And as we exhale, we're rounding out the spine. Tuck the chin and the tailbone for cat pose. Inhale, open up to cow. The belly button drops down. Lift the crown of the head and the tailbone. And exhale, round it out. Tuck the chin and the tailbone. Round out the spine. Inhale, open up, nice and wide. If we'd like, we can go with our own breath, otherwise following me. Exhale, round it out, tuck the chin and the tailbone. Inhale, wide for cow. Exhale, round it out for cat. Just one more time after this. Inhale, wide. And exhale, round it out for cat. All together, coming to a nice neutral spine. Allow the right foot to come just outside of the mat and the gaze to follow that back heel, feeling a nice compression in the right side body there for a kidney squeeze. Waking up the inner organs, we can relax the right knee. Inhale, draw the left foot just outside of the mat and the gaze follows in a kidney squeeze. All together, bring the left knee in one more time. Right foot comes out. Allow the gaze to follow. Perhaps even lifting that right heel if we want to get some engagement in the glute muscle. And exhale, release the right foot. Bring the right knee in. Inhale, draw that left foot to the outside of the mat. Allow the gaze to follow. If we'd like, even lifting the left heel, engage the glute. And all together, release the left foot. Draw that left knee right back in. Allow the hips to come down towards the heels, the knees to come wider than hip width apart. As we walk the hands forward, forehead meets the mat for child's pose. Take a nice deep breath here. All together, just walking the hands toward the right side, keeping the chest low. If we'd like, even going for a bind here, drawing that right forearm behind the back, open up the chest, stretch the left side of the shoulder. And all together, inhale, walk those hands to center. Exhale, walk them all the way over, left side, keeping the chest low. If we'd like, even going for a bind, drawing that left forearm behind the back, stretch the right shoulder blade. And all together, inhale back to center, making our way right back to a tabletop position, checking our alignment when we get there. Beautiful. All together, flip the back toes, guide the hips up and diagonally back into downward facing dog pose. Press through the shoulder blades here. If we'd like, we can just walk out the feet, lifting one heel as we send the opposite heel down, working into those glute muscles, as well as the backs of the knees and the shins. I encourage us to slow down this movement, really exploring those micro muscles in the ankles and the feet. And all together, coming to center, nice and strong, down dog. As we inhale, draw the right heel up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. The gaze is towards the toes that are on the mat. And as we exhale, we're bringing that right knee in towards the chest, just as a transition to draw that right foot between the hands, low lunge, checking our alignment here, making sure this ankle is underneath the knee. We don't want the knee jutting out over the foot here. Adjusting as we need to, and all together, release the back knee, flip onto the top of that back foot, draw both hands up to the sky. If this feels really tense between the hips, feel free to ease up a bit, sending the hips back. If we'd like a deepening, send those hips down. All together, exhale, release the right hand down towards the ground. Lifting through the left side here, you'll feel a really deep pull from that left hip joint all the way through the top of that left hand. And breathe. Warming up the hips here before we get into our moon style. Inhale to center, exhale opposite side. That left hand comes down towards the ground as we reach through the right side. Inhale, right back to center. Exhale, release both hands to the ground. Come off the back knee, flipping those back toes to do so, finding ourselves in a low lunge. Ground the hands, step the foot back, hips high, down dog. Hold for 3 breaths. As we inhale, draw the left heel up to the ceiling, 3-legged dog. All together, as we exhale, bring that left knee in close to the chest, just as a transition to ground that left foot between the hands, low lunge, adjusting our alignment as we need to. That ankle's underneath the knee. Once we get it, grounding that back knee and flipping onto the top of that back foot. Inhale, draw both arms up to the sky. Take a deep breath. All together, as we exhale, releasing the left arm down towards the ground as we extend through the right hand here, feeling that nice pull through the bottom of the right hip joint, all the way through the extension of the side body into that right hand. And as we inhale, come to center. Exhale, rotate over opposite side, allowing that right hand to make its way down towards the ground, even if that's just the fingertips, whatever works for us. Extending through that left side. And inhale, right back to center. The arms are high. As we exhale, release those arms down to the ground. Come off the back knee by flipping those back toes. Ground the hands. Send that left foot back, hips high, down dog. Hold for 3 breaths. All together, just slightly allowing those hips to lean over to the right side. Our hands stay in the same exact place. Inhale, bring those hips to center. Exhale, rotate over opposite side. Just a nice little stretch of those glute muscles and the hips. All together, finding ourselves in down dog. As we inhale, draw the right heel up to the ceiling, 3-legged dog. Exhale, bringing that right foot between the hands, low lunge, adjusting our alignment as we need to. As we inhale, reach those arms up to the ceiling, high lunge. Take a deep breath. And as we exhale, releasing that back foot down to the ground at 45 degrees, allowing those hips and the arms to open up and out. For warrior two, check in with the fingertips, no lazy arms. And hold. All together, extending the front leg out. As we exhale, reach the right hand down towards the ground or towards this right shin here for triangle pose. And all together, as we inhale, bend into the front knee, arms come to parallel, warrior two. All together, walk that front foot in so it's facing the side of the mat. Now both feet are facing the side of the mat. Draw the hands onto the hips. As we exhale, lower the chest all the way down, finding ourselves in a wide leg forward fold. We can walk the feet out if we'd like. Allow the chest to be low. Grounding those hands into the mat. As we inhale, walk the hands to center, lifting the back halfway. Ground the right hand into the floor. Inhale, draw the left arm up to the ceiling in a nice twist. Exhale, release the left hand. Inhale, draw the right arm up to the sky, twist. And as we exhale, reach the right hand down. All together, grounding the hands, turn the right foot out as we bend into the right knee. Allow that left foot to come off the mat, using our hands as support. Inhale, walk those hips up. Exhale, rotate over, opposite side. And hold. Inhale, hips up. Use our hands as support. Exhale, bend into the right knee. Send the hips down. Again, our hands are supporting the lower body here. Inhale, hips high. Exhale, rotate over, opposite side. Two more times. Inhale high. Exhale, rotate over, bend into the right knee. Inhale up. Exhale down, opposite side. Bending into the left knee. All together, inhale, lift those hips up. Square the feet so they're facing that long side of the mat. Ground the hands into the floor. Exhale, release the chest so we get a nice deep hamstring stretch. All together, lifting the chest halfway, grounding the hands on the hips as we use the strength of our core to bring us back up to a standing position. Allow those arms to open up. Lift the chest for star pose. And as we exhale, we're turning the front foot forward so it's facing the top of the mat. The back foot comes to 45 degrees. Arms are parallel. Warrior two, bend into that front knee. And all together, inhale, square those hips towards the front of the room. Warrior one, come off the back heel onto the ball of that back foot for high lunge. And as we exhale, releasing those hands, inhale, draw the right foot back, hips high, down dog. Hold for 3 breaths. And as we inhale, draw the left heel up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Gaze is facing toward those toes on the mat. And as we exhale, draw that left knee in towards the chest, just as a transition to ground that left foot between the hands, low lunge. Inhale, draw both arms up to the ceiling, high lunge, hold. And as we exhale, open up that back foot to about 45 degrees. The hips open up, the arms come to parallel, warrior two. Check in with those fingertips, make sure we have no lazy arms. And all together, extending the front leg out. Exhale, reach that left hand down towards the ground or to that left shin. Right arm is reaching up to the sky. The gaze can be up or down, whatever feels better on the mat for triangle pose. And as we inhale, bend into the front knee, lift those arms to parallel, warrior two. All together, drawing this front foot so it's facing the long side of our mat. Square out the back foot so it's facing the side as well. Grounding the hands on the hips, lower the chest down. For wide leg forward fold, grounding the hands once we find a nice cozy spot for them. If we'd like, we can walk the feet out for deepening or walk the feet in to make this a little less tense between the hips and in those hamstrings. But all together, the chest is soft, relax the neck. As we inhale, just lift the chest up halfway. The spine is long, ground those hands in front of us. The right hand stays planted on the floor. Inhale, lift the left arm up to the sky in a twist. Exhale, that left hand comes down to the ground. Inhale, right arm reaches up to the ceiling. And as we exhale, reach the right hand down to the ground. Allow the chest to relax. All together, turn the right foot out as we bend into the right knee. Allow those hips to come down, using our hands as support and leverage here for the body. Inhale, lift those hips high. Exhale, lean over to the opposite side, bending into the left knee, using our hands as support here. Inhale high. Exhale, rotate over, opposite side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, over. Two more times. Inhale, high. Exhale, rotate over. Opposite side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, all the way over. And inhale, right back to center. Make sure those feet are facing the side, the long side of our mat. Just allowing the chest to relax once more. As we inhale, lift that chest up halfway. Bring the hands to our hips and using the strength of our core, bringing us up to a standing position. Allow those hands to come out. Open up the chest for star pose. Big deep breath in. And as we exhale, we're turning that front foot forward towards the top of the mat. The back foot comes to 45 degrees. Arms are at parallel. Warrior two. Check in with those fingertips. And all together, square the hips towards the front of the room. Warrior one. Coming off the back heel onto the ball of that back foot, high lunge. All together, reaching those hands down to the ground. Inhale, send the left foot back, hips high, down dog, and hold for 3 breaths. On our next inhalation, walking those feet up towards the hands, chest stays low, forward fold. If we have really tight hamstrings, we can have a slight bend in those knees here. No need to be at full extension. But wherever we are, the neck is soft. We can shake the head yes and no, ensuring that we're not holding any tension. And as we inhale, we're rolling the chest up, vertebrae by vertebrae. That means our head comes up very, very last. All together, grounding the feet at hip width apart. Turn the palms out as we roll the shoulders down the back. Tadasana, standing mountain pose. Make sure the core is engaged. Inhale, draw both arms up to the ceiling. Perhaps the gaze follows. And as we exhale, just leaning over to the right side, allowing the right hand to come down as we extend through the left side body for a crescent stretch. Inhale to center, exhale, rotate over, opposite side. Left hand comes down, extend through the right. And inhale to center, the arms are high. All together, send the left foot back, keeping that right foot as extended as possible. As we exhale, lowering the chest just halfway for pyramid pose. You'll feel a really deep engagement in the core and the side body here. If we feel a lot of tension in the back of that knee, on the front leg, feel free to have a slight bend, but we're working towards extension here. Pulling through the fingertips. And all together, as we exhale, lower that chest down over the front leg. The spine is soft along with the neck. On our next inhalation, turning the back foot out so it's facing the side of the mat, grounding that right hand on the inner sole of the right foot or onto this right shin here. Lift the left arm up to the sky for triangle pose. Gaze can be up or down, whatever feels good. And all together, exhale, release that left hand, turn the back foot so it's facing the top of the mat. Finding ourselves in pyramids pose. All together, bring the back foot forward, hips high. Chest is low, forward fold. Take a deep breath here. Perhaps bending into one knee as we extend the opposite leg. Just warming up those hips a little more, stretching out the low back and the glute muscles. And all together, finding stillness. As we inhale, we're rolling the chest up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Our head comes up very, very last. Ground those feet underneath the hips. Turn the palms out. Core is engaged. Tadasana, standing mountain pose. As we inhale, reach both arms up to the ceiling. Allow the hands to touch. Exhale, lean over to the right side for a crescent stretch. Inhale to center. Exhale, rotate over, opposite side. Inhale to center, allowing the hands to part. As we exhale, send the right foot back. That front leg is working its way towards extension. And on our next exhalation, lowering the chest just halfway. Nice power through these arms and the fingertips for pyramid pose. And all together, as we exhale, allow the chest to come over the front leg. Arms are soft. Turning that back foot out so it's facing the long side of the mat. Ground the left palm in the inner sole of that left foot or on the left shin as we reach the right hand up to the ceiling for triangle pose. Breathe, adjusting the gaze as you need to. And all together, as we exhale, ground that right hand, turn the back foot so it's facing the top of the mat, finding ourselves in pyramid pose. And all together, step the back foot all the way up to the top of the mat. Hips are high, chest is low for forward fold. The neck is soft wherever we are. Breathing here. And all together, rolling the chest up, vertebrae by vertebrae. The head comes up very lax. As we inhale, draw both hands up to the sky. Exhale, send the left foot back, bending into the front knee for high lunge. All together on an exhalation, open up those arms and the hips. The back foot comes to 45-degree angle. Warrior two. Check in with those fingertips. No lazy arms. All together, turn that front foot so it's facing the long side of the mat. Even out that opposite foot. Allow those hands to open up, star pose. As we exhale, we're turning the heels in, the feet out. As we bend into the elbows, send the hips down for goddess pose. Holding here. Adjusting as we need to. Engaging the core to help support the upper and lower body. And as we inhale, come to center, turn the feet out so they're facing the long side of the mat. Open up the hands in the chest star pose. And exhale, turn the front foot so it's facing the top of the mat. Back foot comes to 45 degrees, warrior two, arms are parallel. All together, square those hips towards the front of the room, warrior one. Come off the back heel onto the balls of that back foot, high lunge. Pressing through the back foot, find ourselves at standing. Release the arms. We can wiggle them out. Interlace the fingertips behind the back and shining the chest toward each side of the room, gently pulling up on those wrists. And coming to stillness all together, grounding those feet. Before we inhale, draw both arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, send the right foot back, bending into the front knee for high lunge. Holding here. All together as we exhale, opening up those hips, the back foot comes to 45-degree angle. The arms are at parallel for warrior two. Checking in with those fingertips. All together, turn the front foot in so it's facing the long side of the mat. That opposite foot evens out. Allow the hands to open up, lift the chest, star pose. And as we exhale, we're turning the heels in, the toes come out, sink into the hips as we allow a slight bend into these elbows, shoulders roll down and back for goddess pose. Adjusting as we need to. Maybe we're moving the feet out or in, and hold. Breathing. Nice deep squat here. And as we inhale, lift through those legs, turn the feet out so they're facing the side of the mat. Open up the chest and those arms all together. Turn that front foot so it's facing the top of the mat. Back foot comes to 45 degrees. Warrior two. Check in with the fingertips. All together, square those hips towards the front of the room. Arms reach up to the sky. Warrior one. Come off the back heel onto the balls of that back foot, finding ourselves in high lunge. And as we exhale, reach those hands down. Send the left foot back, hips high, down dog. Hold for 3 breaths. On our next inhalation, walking those feet up towards the hands, chest stays low, hips are high, forward fold. On our next inhalation, we're lifting the back up just halfway. Exhale, allow that chest to collapse over the thighs. Inhale up, half back. Exhale, relax the spine. Inhale, lift, half back. Hands rest on the shins. And exhale, fold. On our next inhalation, we're rolling that chest up, vertebrae by vertebrae, taking our time as we make our way to standing. Once we get there, we are facing the long side of our mat here. Grounding the feet at hip width apart as we make our way into our first moon salutation. Inhale, lift the arms up to the sky. Allow the hands to touch as we exhale, lean over to the right side, finding ourselves in a crescent stretch. Inhale, center. Exhale, lean over the left side. And inhale, center. Allow the feet to come nice and wider than hip width apart. Open up those hands so the chest is lifted for star pose. As we exhale, turn the toes out, the heels come in. Send the hips down as we bend into the elbows for goddess pose. And hold. Nice and strong here, engaging those glute muscles and the hamstring as extra support. And as we inhale, turn those heels out, feet face the long side of the mat, the arms open up, star. As we exhale, we're turning that front foot so it's facing the vertical side of the mat and allowing the left hand to reach down towards the ground, or this left shin for triangle pose. The chest can be high, gaze can be up towards the sky or down towards the ground, whatever feels good. Hold. All together, releasing that right hand. We're turning the back foot so it's facing the vertical side of the mat. Chest is low. Pyramid pose. Holding here. All together, we're bending into the front knee and allowing the back knee to meet the ground. Flip onto the top of that back foot for a lunge. Inhale, draw both arms up to the ceiling. As we exhale, reach those hands down to the ground. We're allowing both hands to come onto the inner side of this left foot, opening up those hips as we turn that left foot out, finding ourselves nice and low. And inhale, lift those hips high, just like we did in our wide leg forward fold. Exhale, rotate over, opposite side. Inhale, high. Exhale, rotate over, opposite side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, all the way over. Inhale, high. Exhale, opposite side. Just one more time. Inhale, high. Exhale, rotate over, opposite side. From here, we're turning that back foot, allowing ourselves to find ourselves in a low lunge position. That front foot faces the top of the mat. All together, release that back knee. Inhale, lift both arms up to the ceiling. On an exhalation, ground those hands, come off the back knee, work that back foot forward, chest is low over this front leg that's working its way towards extension for pyramid pose. All together, turn the back foot out so it's facing the long side of the mat. Bring that right hand to the inner sole of the right foot as the left arm reaches up towards the ceiling, or that right hand can be resting gently on the shin here for triangle pose. Adjusting the gaze as we need to, whether that's up towards the sky or down towards the ground. It's whatever feels good for you. Holding here. And as we inhale, we're lifting the chest as we turn the front foot towards the long side of the mat. Allow the palms to open up. Take up space in our star pose, lifting through the chest. All together as we exhale, we're turning the heels in. The toes come out, send the hips down along with those elbows for goddess pose. And hold. Nice and strong in these hamstrings here. Nice strong hip joints. Engaging the core as support. And the gaze is straight ahead. Making sure we're breathing. And all together, extend those legs out. Turn the feet out to the long side of the mat. Open up the chest. The arms come wide. Take a big deep breath in. As we exhale, turn this left foot out towards the vertical side of the mat. As we send the left hand down towards the left shin or all the way down to the ground for triangle pose. Adjusting with the gaze as we need to here. Hold. All together as we exhale, we're reaching the right hand down, turning that back foot so it's facing the vertical side of the mat as well. The chest is low for pyramid pose. Holding here. All together, bending into the front knee as we send the back knee down to the ground, finding ourselves all the way completely on the floor in a lunge. Inhale, draw both arms up to the sky. As we exhale, releasing these hands back down to the ground, finding stability. Bring the left hand in as we turn this right leg all the way out, sinking ourselves into the left hip joint here. Hands are resting on the floor beneath us. And as we inhale, we're lifting those hips high. Exhale, rotate over, opposite side. Nice deep stretch in the right hip joint. And inhale, lift all the way over. Inhale high, exhale, opposite side. Two more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rotate over. Last time. Inhale high. Exhale all the way other side. And all together, turning our way into a low lunge, coming onto the ball of that back foot, squaring out the hips, release the back knee down to the ground, flip onto the top of that back foot as you reach the hands up to the sky. And exhale, release those hands down to the ground. Come off the back knee, work the back foot forward as we extend the front leg out. Chest is low for pyramid pose. Breathe. All together on our next inhalation, we're turning the back foot out to the long side of the mat. bringing that right hand to the inner sole of the right foot, or gently resting on the right shin for triangle pose. And breathe. The gaze can be up or down, whatever feels best. And as we inhale, we're turning the front foot to the side, allowing those hands to open up nice and wide, star pose. All together, bring the feet to center, in line with those hips. Draw both hands up to the sky. The palms touch. Exhale, lean over right side for crescent stretch. Inhale, center, lean over left. Inhale to center and allow those arms to come down and out with complete control. Beautiful. We can make our way to the top of the mat now, facing vertically. As we inhale, draw both arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, hinge at those hips, allowing the chest to be low, hips high, forward fold. If we'd like, bringing a slight bend into these knees, we can grab either elbow and rock from side to side for ragdoll pose. Bending the knees as much as we need to ground both hands on the ground. Step the feet back, hips high, down dog. Hold for 3 breaths. And all together, as we exhale, we're releasing both knees to the ground, sending the hips all the way down and back for child's pose. Allow the forehead to rest. Breathe. As we inhale, we're lifting the chest up, allowing those hips to come down. Lift through the chest, engage those quadriceps to get the knees off the ground, upward facing dog. And exhale, release the knees, send the hips back, child's pose. Inhale, draw the hips up. Then all the way down, chest is high, engage those quadriceps, finding ourselves in upward facing dog. Exhale, release those knees, send the hips all the way down and back for child's pose. And all together, coming to a tabletop position as we make our way down onto our backs for some cool downs before we lead ourselves into a meditation. All together, allowing the back to rest fully on the mat. Feet are planted in the ground for now. As we inhale, draw the right ankle over the left knee. In a figure 4 position, if we'd like, we can gently push that right knee away from us, opening up the hip. Otherwise, we can just hang out here. If we'd like a deeper hip stretch, drawing that left knee close to the chest, perhaps interlacing the fingertips around the left thigh to help us. And as we exhale, release the left foot. Allow the right to meet it once it gets there. Inhale, left ankle over right knee. Again, we can feel free to just hang out here, opening up the hip joint nice and subtly. Or perhaps we're interlacing the fingertips around the right thigh, drawing that right knee closer to the chest. exhale, releasing that right foot, then the left. Inhale, draw both knees in towards the chest or find child's pose. Perhaps we're rocking from side to side, massaging the full length of the spine. All together, keep the right knee in close to the chest and the left heel up to the sky. And with complete control, allowing that left heel to make its way down towards the ground. Once it gets there, we can roll out the right ankle clockwise and counterclockwise. And if we'd like, we can hang out here, just opening up the right hip joint. Otherwise, we can gently guide that right knee over the left side body in a twist. Now, I don't want us forcing or pushing that right knee down to the ground. A good amount of space between the knee and the floor is just fine. We want to protect our low spine. Take a deep breath. The hands can be wherever they feel comfortable. Just breathe. As we inhale, come to center with the right knee. Once we get there, draw the left knee up to meet it. Recline child's pose. We can rock from side to side. We'd like, we can grab towards the inner soles of the feet and allow those knees to come out and down to our sides for happy baby. Rocking back and forth if that feels good. Perhaps bending into one knee as we extend the opposite leg. We want to get a little last minute stretch in those hamstrings we worked today. Just taking some time to explore with our bodies. And all together, bring both knees back in towards the chest. Keeping that left knee in close, we're sending the right heel up to the sky. And as we exhale, lowering that right leg down with complete control. Once it meets the ground, we can roll out the left ankle clockwise and counterclockwise. If we'd like, we can stay right here, open up the left hip joint. Otherwise, we can gently guide that left knee over the right side body in a twist. Now we're not forcing or pulling the knee down to the ground. Some space between the knee and the floor is just fine here. The arms are soft at wherever feels good. As we inhale, we can bring the left knee back in towards the chest, straighten out the spine. And as we exhale, releasing the left foot down to the ground to meet the right, all together, allowing the feet to come wider than hip width apart. They're going to splay out nice and naturally. We have some options. You can bring one hand to the heart and one to the stomach. Otherwise, allowing both hands to reach down towards the ground, palms face up to the ceiling as we roll those shoulders down the back. taking a couple moments to check in with the body. Notice any sensations in the toes, in the tops and the bottoms of the feet, around each ankle, through the calves and the shins. Notice each knee, the quadriceps and the hamstring. Allow the hips to be heavy. Notice the stomach and the inner organs, the rib cage, the heart and the lungs. Bring your attention to the collarbone, the biceps and the triceps. Notice each elbow, the forearm and the wrist, the palms of the hands, and out each and every fingertip. A release of tension. And all together, bringing that focus to the muscles in the face. Release any tension from between the eyebrow and the forehead. Allow the eye sockets and the cheekbones to be heavy. Removing the tongue from the roof of the mouth so the lips part naturally. Taking, if not just this one moment today, to be free of any mental or physical tension, to allow the floor beneath us to bear all of our weight. Allow all of that weight to melt away. We have the option to stay here in our corpse pose for a little longer. Otherwise, unless we're pregnant or have high blood pressure, we can roll over to the right side. Allow the knees to come in nice and close. The chest will follow in a fetal position, allowing ourselves to be close with the body for a little bit longer. I'd like us to take this time to send a thank you note to the body and mind that brought you into this space. Even if that's for something as simple as being able to get you onto the mat today. Or sending ourselves the compliment we would have liked to hear this week or today, giving that compliment to ourselves. And all together, taking our time, I'd like us to make our way back up to that resting, seated position we started our class with today. Allowing the hands to come to heart center or your third eye. I thank you all for sharing this practice with me, for allowing me to lead you through it, for working with me through it all. The light and the love within me sees, I bow, and recognize the light and the love within you. Namaste.